Hey everyone, Shawn here from Easthill Outdoors. I'm going to be talking about my new farm. I got 76 acres here, setting up. It's my first time. I never hunted here. I spent the last couple months setting up cameras, running my spy point cell cams, trying to get an idea of what the deer are doing on this property. After studying that for a few months, I've got a pretty good idea. I've got a 1 acre food plot in here, and I'm starting to get a better understanding of how the deer move and where they're bedding in particular. The last couple months I had my spy point cell cam set up and I've been monitoring what the deer have been moving. They seem to come from the west, some dense woods here, they move up, and then there's some bedding areas that I found up on the side of my hill. So I've got my Primos Deluxe blind set up. Right in the corner of the food plot I've got a scrape from last year that I found that I'm hoping they're going to be using again. I've got a main trail entrance off in the middle of the food plot that they seem to come right across this field and then start heading up. They hit one of my mineral sites and then go up to their bedding area. And then my plan is to put a little 8x10 pond right in the side of the food plot just for some water source, because I really don't have much water here. That's the only downfall. In the woods here, I've got about 75 yards in, I've got a rack stacker mineral site, the stacked minerals. I've had multiple does hammering it. It's been fantastic. And same thing, they'll cut across, and I'm using these spy point cell cams to watch what the deer do across the property, morning and evening, coming back in and through. So after learning what these deer have been doing through my property, the main trails, they're hitting my mineral sites, a rack stacker stacked, and then I've got a rack stacker blaze mineral site going. They've been going through. There's oak trees up in the corner that are dropping really good. I've got some really good apple trees out on the point, and they're making their way up to this bedding area. And then my plan is next season to get a 3 acre food plot in here. I've got a ridge going along the side of this field, so I'm going to plant a row of corn, maybe some apple trees, and really get this cover built in for the deer to feel safe and secure, and then run strips of corn through this through the food plot just to make them a little safer and hopefully use it during daylight. So I've got one other main spot that I'm going to be focusing on my farm, and it's going to be really tight to doe bedding area. There's a south-facing hill with sumac, long grass, really thick woods, nice vegetation, and I found a lot of deer beds in it. I'm not going to go anywhere near there for a while. That's going to be right during the rut. I'll get a little more aggressive and set up. My only problem is my only good spots are going to be on a south or an east wind. They don't happen that often, but if I want to hunt it safely, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to play around and hopefully find another stand location that I can get either a north or a west wind to be able to go in there and hunt nice and tight, or at least below where I think a buck is going to cruise below the bedding area to check does that are in heat. So with running these spy point cell cams, I've found one other main trail that the deer come in on to this property. I've got my stacked mineral site from Rack Stacker set up there, and it's just north, so I set up a stand for a south wind, which again doesn't happen that often, but it's one of those spots where I need a backup. I don't always want to just sit and wait for a north or a west wind, and it's a really good spot. It's nice and dense, and I've got lots of daylight movement from the does, so I'm hoping if I can keep set up there and I can just stay out of where I think a buck is going to start cruising around to look for these does. So with these cameras, I've been setting them up strategically on all the main trails that are coming into my property, and then what I'm pretty sure is the bedding area, and then where they seem to cross the road to the neighbor's farm. So with these cameras, I can watch which direction they come onto the property, what time of day, what the wind's doing, and I actually keep a spreadsheet of all their activity so that I can see which direction they're going by the camera. And then I can plant my stand and I can hunt it with the wind according to what time of day I'm hunting. So with this spot, I've got a hawk kickback, a hang-on stand in the tree here. I can hunt this on an east wind when the deer are coming in to go back to bedding, and I can hunt it on a west wind in the evenings when they're going back out to their food sources. Quick tip when you're running these spy point cameras, I'll set them to sync twice a day. So I got mine for 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. 8 a.m. I can have my morning coffee, check out my photos, see what's going on with the deer, and then I'll get the pictures again at 8 p.m. That way, when it's transmitting photos only twice a day, it's a lot easier on the battery life on these cameras. I've had a Link Evo last 3 months that way. So I got my 1 acre food plot here. I'm a little late getting it started, but I planted Rack Stacker Field Edge and Rack Stacker Biggins Radish. It's coming up pretty good so far. So we'll see. The deer should like it. There's no major food sources around here, so this should really help. I've got a ton of oak trees and a lot of apple trees that are dropping really good right now, so it should be enough food to keep them around, especially for early season. Thanks for watching this video. We're gonna be bringing content like this all fall. I'm gonna be setting up this farm still, hunting some bucks. We got Ian West, he's got a really great property. He's gonna be hunting. And then Chris and Corey Johnson, you know those guys are good. And don't forget, we have our Whitetail Classic 2020 exclusively at Easthill Outdoors. We are giving away $50,000 in prizes. You're gonna wanna go to easthill.outdoors.com for more details. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram. We're gonna be bringing content to you guys like this all fall, and good luck deer hunting.